There comes a moment in every human life, a silent plea from within. I want to be free, but I don't know from what. You can't quite name it, but it's there, a sense of being trapped, a heaviness, a cycle of suffering that seems to repeat itself. What if that pain wasn't caused by what happened to you, but by how tightly you're still holding on? Today, we dive deep into the spiritual principle that can break this cycle. With wisdom from psychology legend Carl Jung, Buddhist insight, and real-life transformation. Let's begin. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists." It's more than a catchy quote, it's a psychological truth that defines much of our suffering. Think of a painful memory, a breakup, a betrayal, a failure. It's not the event that continues to hurt you. It's the resistance, the fight against what is. The inner voice that screams, "This shouldn't have happened." We want life to obey our rules, but life has its own rhythm. And when we resist that rhythm, we suffer. Acceptance, not of approval, but of reality, becomes the first step toward liberation. Resistance is sneaky. It lives in the thoughts that loop at night, in the stories we tell about what should have been. A person loses a job and clings to resentment. Another gets betrayed and replays the moment endlessly. It's not the event, it's the refusal to let go. And the longer we hold on, the heavier the burden becomes. Let's pause. Ask yourself, what am I still resisting right now? What story do I keep telling myself that only keeps me stuck? Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Pain comes and goes, like seasons. But suffering happens when we try to freeze the season or run from it. We don't want to grieve, so we pretend we're fine. We don't want to feel sadness, so we numb out. But what we resist multiplies in the dark. Carl Jung taught, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The pattern continues, not because life is cruel, but because we haven't yet brought our wounds into the light. Radical acceptance is not resignation. It's not giving up. It's stopping the war with what already is. You don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with it, but to heal, you must accept it. Acceptance doesn't mean the pain vanishes, but it stops multiplying, because you've stopped feeding it with resistance. And in that silence, something opens. You begin to shift from why me to what now, from reaction to response, from wounded to whole. But what if your pain isn't just recent? What if the reason you suffer is because your subconscious has been trained to? This is the part most people never explore, the part where your nervous system believes suffering is normal. Because maybe when you were young, love always came with pain, or safety came with silence, and now you chase the same patterns. Not because you want them, but because they feel familiar. Jung warned us, you repeat what you don't repair. So if you're stuck in the same emotional loops, the same kind of relationships, failures, fears, don't blame fate. Look deeper. The ego loves your suffering. It feeds on it. It identifies with it. It says, "This always happens to me. I can't trust anyone. I'm broken." It keeps the story alive because the ego is afraid of what's beyond it. But healing begins when you stop being the character and become the witness. Watch your thoughts, watch your reactions, and remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. This is the beginning of real freedom. Pain is not the enemy. It is a messenger. It arrives to teach you something your joy never could. Carl Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Pain shatters illusions. It strips away the ego's masks, and when embraced, it refines you. You stop being the version of yourself you were told to be, and become who you truly are. This is your turning point, not because pain will disappear, but because you've changed your relationship to it. You are no longer a victim. You are no longer resisting reality. you are meeting it with clarity, courage, and compassion. So if you're ready to break the cycle, if you're ready to turn pain into power, begin here. Write it in the comments. I transform my pain into power. Because once you decide to face your pain instead of flee it, nothing can stop your transformation.